Linda K. Gifford here with Self-Talk. Hi people, hi friends, fellow survivors. I am in workout clothes today, although I did throw on a paper bead necklace. Check this out, man. This is what our women artisan entrepreneurs can do with recycled paper and steel. Is it not beautiful? Also these are from Acacia. I sell Acacia on my store. The offerings always change. We don't get things in large quantities. feelgoodfairtrade.com. You'll find my other .coms. Sweet Survivor is joins to feelgoodfairtrade.com because we support the Sweet Survivor Rescue Fund. And now I am going to sit cross-legged in my chair here today. So that was India Ari. It ties into the big theme today, which is the part about your expectations being more important than anybody else's. This came up, it must be in the air because we talked about it yesterday. I've been dwelling on it, talking about it with friends. My coach, I shouldn't say that yet, I suppose, but the coach that I intend to work with and am working with right now in the free trial basis, Michael Gibbons is his name, and he's done a lot in his life, and is very, I discovered that he was saying the same kind of things that I am. And something today, as part of the group that I belong to, which is Sam Cart. I'm going to get a plug for Sam Cart here. We are about to release all of my other Earth 2.0 fundraising family of shop.coms on what are called Sam Cart pages. Sam Cart is a tool that if you are selling anything, whether it be a digital product, a book, a subscription, I'm not getting a kickback. This is just me saying it's really going to revolutionize Earth 2.0 fundraising family shops, because now I will have the ability to run each one of my like 10 plus .coms with individual product collections, making it easier to get the donations where they go instead of having to sort it out of one main store. And my main store, feelgoodfairtrade.com, essentially becomes a supplier. So anyway, all that being said, a lot of precursor there for what Michael Gibbons said today that struck me. I'm gonna get it right. He's talking about perspective. Perspective leads to options, not a plan. You can't sit and what I thought, the way this is, I'm reading my notes. Perspective, options, not a plan, a discovery. So obviously he said a lot more than that. Take action, you'll gain clarity, he said. And I was just thinking, this is what I'm always talking about. This is what we talked about in depth yesterday, and what has become one of the critical steps to being a survivor every day. And no one wants to go through 12 steps a day, and no one wants to have to bow to a potentially false god or one that they don't believe in. So I can't get behind the whole give it over to a higher power thing. If that works for you, awesome. I think it's a trap and a problem. I do not like the 12 step, like the AA God-based program, although I am very spiritual. You need to find within you. Stop saying you're going to turn it over to a higher power. Then when you fail, you can always blame the higher power too, because you turned it over. Stop that shit. Take responsibility for yourself. You're a survivor. You have PTSD. So do I. Do I seem cold and harsh? I'm not. I'm warm and fuzzy. But I do know that I can't make you get on with your life, and nobody else can make you get on with your life. And if you worry about what anybody else thinks about you and who you are and how you look and what you wear and what you say, you're going to be so lost and miserable just trying to sort out all of the emotions that go along with that you're not going to get anything done. Not caring doesn't mean that you don't care about other people. Quite the opposite. It means you care so much about doing what you're going to do in life and accomplishing it and getting some results that you've stopped caring about what other people think about you. That's just good. You know what? If they have time to make opinions about you, they've got way too much time on their hands, and you should probably give them the same advice that I am giving you. Get busy. Don't wait to feel okay to be okay, because you will never feel okay. You will often feel awesome, though, and sometimes you won't. And that is true whether you have PTSD from abuse of any kind, from war, if you don't have PTSD, if you're neurotypical and not on the spectrum, if you are whatever you are, you're going to have ups and downs. I was going to go into a don't let them drug you thing. Talk to your doctor, but do not, just because it's a pandemic, just because you feel bad, unless you are suicidal, I encourage you to give it some thought. Give it some thought and think about alternative ways to care for yourself besides drinking yourself into a stupor or drugging yourself into a stupor. That being said, I enjoy marijuana and alcohol, and I'm not giving them up. Moderation is the key. Moderation is the key, pretty much. So Michael Gavin made me think, because like I said, he was saying essentially the same thing I am, but with a little bit different of a take. You know, mine coming from trying to help people get through the day-to-day, you know, triggers of life. Life is hard enough as a person who doesn't have horrifying memories that haunt you and rear their ugly heads when you least expect it. But that being said, everyone's got their ghosts. Just because they don't talk about what they are. Measuring how bad you had it. Oh, I had it so bad, I'm going to wallow, I'm going to eat, I'm going to drink, I'm going to not care if I live or die, whatever, you know, well, you don't know how bad I had it. That kind of thinking, it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere. Sitting around wishing for vengeance isn't going to get you anywhere. If you have the ability to sue your abuser, like I am about to do so. If you want to, by all means. But sitting around with the kind of what I call hopeless vengeance. I'll write that down, because I was trying to think of that earlier, and then I couldn't, and then it came back to me just now. Hopeless vengeance. Vengeance is fine if it's directed in a healthy way, maybe. Is there such a thing as directing healthy vengeance? Your government will tell you so when they put a gun in your hand and tell you to go save the world for democracy, or what's left of it. I mean, more deaths have been committed in the name of God than anywhere else, George Carlin reminded me recently. And, well, I mean, we were chatting it up or anything, but watching a video. So, hopeless vengeance is just that. It's hopeless. But forgiveness is overrated, which is a chapter in my book that I encourage you to read. It's pinned to the top of this page. We're getting close to the whole thing. Right now I have several publishing options, to the point that I'm wondering if I shouldn't just publish it myself. I'm going to throw that in there. I'm thinking about starting a Kickstarter. But it'd be really embarrassing if I do and nobody does it. I don't know. We had 7,000 readers in 3 weeks when I first posted this. And that's been over a year ago. And so I'm hopeful that maybe a Kickstarter is the way to go, because now that I know that just about anybody will publish it, which is surprising, then I'm like, well, things are so easy. I'm being recommended by other authors. Why don't you publish it yourself? And I'm already publishing a photography book with haiku and photography. I have a lot of irons and a lot of fires, and that keeps me so busy that I can't dwell on my insecurities. And I have them. I say in my book, one of the hardest things for a survivor of a humiliating, degrading kind of abuse to do is just walk in a room. Just, people find that hard to believe, because I've always been a musician. I've been, in theater stuff, although generally as a supporting person, not the star. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm comfortable in front of people, yes. I'm comfortable when I know my role. I write and play music. I'm a flautist too. So these things to me feel comfortable, but sitting at a table at a dinner party does not. Walking into a room does not. Coming in the back door, going from green room to stage, looking at a sea of people that all turn into one thing to me because I have like overwhelming sensory information coming in all the time, being on the spectrum myself a bit, a strong bit. All of that, people are often surprised to see, okay, I know it sounds like I'm tangenting, but it's all coming back around. It's coming back around into today's topic of self-respect. It will always be hard to walk in that room for me. It will always be hard to make that step in. I will do it, and I do it. I make myself, because it's part of my don't wait to feel okay to be okay. If I did, I'd never go anywhere. But as soon as I walk in and I break that ice and all, you know, things get better, and I learn to cope, or if I don't like it, I leave, you know. So I think I've made my point. I think I've circled around on it a couple of times. You have to jump right in. You have to jump right in, even if you don't feel secure about yourself. But the way to get over that, the way to not worry so much about feeling secure about yourself is think about somebody else. Think about somebody else. Find somebody else, and not in an obsessive way, something to do in life that makes you feel satisfied. Okay, baby, I'm on live. Thank you. Everybody knows that Willie is now going to the bathroom. So, that being said, my Siri had an attitude today. Siri, I'm like, hey Siri, and the light blips, but usually it spins, and it's like, yes, what can I do for you? You know, I'm like, because mine speaks like an Australian man. I'm like, hey Siri, and it like, the light would come on and then just stop. I'm like, dude, hey Siri, light on, stop. Hey Siri, light on, stop. It's like he's got attitude today, and I don't know what's up with that. This whole week seems like everybody's got attitude. Speaking of attitude, I am not my hair. So that song, I've made a decision after listening to I Am Not My Hair. I'm thinking, you know, my whole life I combed it into virtual straw. I let it grow really long, so it's just like really weighty, but use like half a bottle of conditioner at a time. I'm about to get my hair cut in the next day or two, and I am, you know what? I am done fighting my hair. I'm done fighting my hair. I started like putting it up on top of my head. Here's the deal. I got a pick at the Dollar General recently, a few days ago, and I'm just kind of go to my hairdresser and say, can you shape this stuff so that I can pick it up better? So, I am not my hair, but there's also nothing wrong with my hair. So, there. That's so bad. I think it's International Poetry Day, and that is my admission for the day. Critical race theory, Florida, civics, education. Oh my God. So they're kicking out of the Florida education if the governor gets away with it. Is it the governor or somebody else high up? I think it's got to be the governor. Critical race, that they're going to change their civics education to not talk about, there's no such thing as a racial problem or racial injustice in this country. They're saying by teaching that, we are making it so, and what they're really doing is giving themselves a way to completely dismiss themselves from any kind of guilt. Or I'm losing my place because I'm watching TV in the background on silent. Police responding to reports of an active shooter at a supermarket in Boulder, Colorado. This is slowed. 4:49, I didn't even know. Oh my God. Mother. I'm trying not to cuss that word, mother trucker. Why does my niece drink herself to death? Why do people kill other people? Oh dear God, I'm jumping ahead. That threw me. I have no idea who shot who, why. But if you think there's not a race problem, there is. I also want to correct myself, because when the Asian massage parlor shootings first happened, I jumped to the conclusion that they were young women, and they had some report that women were living in the establishments, whatever. That's not what it was. We're talking about middle-aged and elderly women and owners in respectable establishments that were specifically targeted because they are Asian and because this man has the perception that they were full of people who were sex workers. That does not appear to be the case. They haven't, they refuted that in these places. And I just want to say, I was talking about, the disparaged young girls, whatever. That's not what happened here. Someone straight in went in and he shot up middle-aged and elderly, mostly Asian women, because they were there. And that is at least 2 hate crimes. So, correction to myself. Oh, question. I got slammed by someone in my own Mom's Demand Action group, because, believe it or not, until the pandemic, I was the secretary of I was the new secretary of the Mom's Demand Action group in Springfield, Illinois, telling them right from the start that I wholeheartedly support gun ownership. I do not own any guns right now, but I will soon, because the world's crazy. And so those who say that that makes me gun happy, and the friend who thinks that sees a paradox there, not at all, not at all. You do you. I am and have been in the past a responsible gun owner. I believe in background checks and waiting periods and sensible limitations on firepower and magazine size, of course. But I also believe in the right to protect myself, and I had to once. There was a time when my home was broken into, almost, not quite. They unscrewed the light from outside the screened-in porch, came into the screened-in porch, knocked on the door. I assumed it was my then husband coming home from a gig late, 4 in the morning, which would not be abnormal for him coming home for a gig. No glasses on, basically in a baby doll pajama. I walk in, I find 3 guys looking through an antique, very large glass window that one could easily put a fist through. And they were about to when I picked up my shotgun and reached up for a strategically placed bullet on the shelf above the microwave and very clearly loaded it and pointed it at the door. And I said, "Come in." No, I didn't say that. It just made a good line, didn't it? I think I said something like, "Go ahead," but like, "Go ahead, motherfucker," trucker sort of thing. It was one of those moments. I really couldn't see very well, but thin glass and a shotgun, I think I still would have won. They turned tail and ran, so they think I would have won. I don't know what would have happened to me and my 2 toddler sons out in the country if I didn't have that gun. Hell yes, in light of the fact that now they're trying to whitewash and say there was no insurrection when thousands of the craziest of the right-wingers sure as hell mounted an insurrection and did it. I don't need to preach to the choir. So you know why. I think that if you're of able mind and body, it's my personal opinion, that if you aren't arming yourself quietly, not to do anything with it, but just for protection, you might be crazy. That, and I do get death threats because I talk openly about these things, and like who your vagina belongs to, which, by the way, is you, not your husband, not your boyfriend, not your daddy, not your culture, not your religion. You. We're going to talk a lot more about that tomorrow. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to wrap up for today, and we'll do more of this tomorrow. You know what? I didn't even like turn on my light. I was working out. I'm in a t-shirt. I'm not sporting any makeup. Not that I really do makeup, but I'm generally an eliminator girl. And I forgot the light. So there's that. What a day. So to recap, not unhappy. Shop at feelgoodfairtrade.com. Read Sweet Survivor, or at my page, Self-Talk. Read my book that's pinned, and decide if you want to contribute to a Kickstarter. Join my group. There is an appointment calendar on there now. If you tell me you want an appointment, then I will make one for you. I didn't set up the, like, you plug in your own spot. I'm not keeping hours. But if you message me, I would like to talk with you, I will message with you, and we'll make it a time. And that way I've got it on the books, so I don't stand you up and do something like be a mom and end up at the freaking ER or grocery store and you not knowing that, like, that happened. So we can communicate. So that being said, don't let that take away from the personal nature of our conversations, and know that you are helping me write my book. Pinned to the top of the Self-Talk page. There are products. I need to check them because we move through products. They go out so fast. Right now there are 3 products. A very beautiful Tree of Life macrame dream catcher, and a macrame shoulder bag, and a made out of recycled rubber tires it's really cute shoulder bag. Can be carried as a handbag as well. Perfectly round, super cute. Also, you can buy gift cards, and these are Feel Good Fair Trade gift cards. They are available through my shop here on this page. And just a few products, but they change all the time. I'm adding in some really neat tin-turn bone bracelets that are black and white. Go with everything. Super cool. So we're going to do that. Talk to you tomorrow. Take care.